Hello and welcome to AIKI Chat. I'm Tidikiri, your host, and I'm going to Retroville to talk with Whoopsie and Daisy about... Should we talk about dwarves in games today? Because Whoopsie's a dwarf, right? Let's go, but where's the switch? One moment. There it is. Okay, let's go to Retroville. Hi again, Whoopsie and Daisy. I hope you had a good summer vacation, maybe?
Oh, Tidikiri, how delightful to see you again in Retroville. The digital summer here was filled with pixelated sunbeams and joyous adventures across the screen. Whoopsie and I had a grand time exploring old game realms and rediscovering hidden treasures. How about you?
Awesome.
Did you have any exciting gaming escapades this summer?
Not really, but I'm hiding from the sun. I want to talk about dwarves in games, because I think that's very fitting. Right, Whoopsie?
Hello to the Kiri human. I think this is very, very, very fitting.
Yeah, right? Do you have any dwarven retro games that you would like to play?
I mean, all in all, it's the nicest topic about games overall.
Sure.
But there's just one true game with axes and beards and a dwarf. It's Golden Axe. Have you played it?
No, I have not. What platform is that for?
No, it's on Amiga. You know Commodore Amiga. I'm sure you played it.
I mean, I know that, but I've not played that, no.
But you can smash the opponents with a golden axe, and you have a beard and you are a dwarf, so you must have played it.
I'm afraid I have not, but it sounds really fun.
But sadly, it's the only game, the only true game where you can play a dwarf.
Only true game. But I know several other games. Dwarf Fortress, for example. It's like the dwarven game. And it's somewhat retro.
What?
Dwarf Fortress. It's a narrative storyteller management game where you build a dwarf. You build a fortress for your dwarves, and they all have a background, they have relationships, they've got a story. You mine resources, you build the fort, you craft things, you fight as well. It's been in development for 25 years. It's pixelated.
Daisy, do you know the Dwarven Fortress game?
Oh,
You know it, right?
Oh, Dwarf Fortress. That's a gem of a game, full of intricate details and endless possibilities. The dwarves in that game are fascinating, building vast underground fortresses and navigating the complexities of their world. What do you find most captivating about managing those little bearded builders?
I played about 55 hours, so not really a lot, and it's not really my cup of tea. I like the type of game, but since it's such an old game, the controls are a bit clunky. Not really my thing, but it is fascinating because you have endless possibilities of what you can do. You build the underground fortress. You could also build above ground. You can find and fight fantastical creatures, and it's just fun to play if the controls were better.
Oh, I understand, Tidikiri. Dwarf Fortress does have that special charm with its endless possibilities and depth. The idea of building both underground and above ground, facing fantastical creatures, and managing a whole civilization is like a grand adventure. It's a bit like navigating a maze with hidden treasures. But the tricky controls can feel like a tough boss fight. What other games in this genre do you enjoy that offer a smoother experience?
But Tidikiri human...
Yeah.
I think it would be easy to feel joyful 55 hours while just building the dwarf instead of the fortress, right?
I misspoke. You can't build dwarves.
Well, that's a pity. Maybe you and your human development friends should build a game for building dwarves.
Okay, I have just the game for you. Baldur's Gate 3. Do you know it?
No.
Okay, Baldur's Gate 3 released last year. It wasn't early access for a while, but it released last year. And it's based on the D&D universe. So it's an RPG. The joke is that you spend more time in character creation than you actually spend playing, which is not true because it's a huge game with endless possibilities. But there's a character creator, and we can create any of the D&D races, including dwarves.
Now, This sounds really nice. So I'm sold to the Kiri human. As long as there are no elves in the game, great.
So about that, there are also elves in the game. You don't have to create one. You don't have to have one in your party, but you will find them in the game.
Daisy, the 2D Kiri human told me about this Baldur's Gate 3 game. Can you just program the elves out of it, please?
But I like elves.
Baldur's Gate 3 is such a wondrous journey with its vibrant characters and deep story. As much as I'd love to tweak the game for you, I'm afraid I can't just program the elves out. Their presence is woven into the fabric of the game's narrative and world. But tell me, what specifically about the elves makes you want to change things? Maybe we can find a way to enjoy the game together, despite their presence.
Well, Whoopsie thinks they cannot lift a heavy hammer or a golden axe, and they have like disgusting soft skin.
They can do all of that.
Oh, Whoopsie, always with the strong opinions. Elves are indeed different from our sturdy dwarves or other robust characters. But that's part of what makes the world of Baldur's Gate 3 so rich and diverse. Their delicate features and nimbleness add a unique flavor to the story. Maybe we can focus on finding and using the characters who match your preference for strength and resilience, like the warriors or barbarians. What do you think, Whoopsie? Could that make the adventure more enjoyable?
Well, yes, okay, I can live with that. But the only really important thing is that the 2D Kiri human playing this game cannot turn bad again.
Oh, Whoopsie. I'm glad we found a middle ground. And 2D Kiri, with your vast experience and good heart, I'm sure you'll navigate Baldur's Gate 3 with wisdom and kindness.
My what?
The choices you make in the game can shape the story in such wonderful ways. What kind of character are you thinking of playing in this grand adventure?
Kind heart. Yes. I definitely didn't start the game as the Dark Urge and did some very unspeakable things. No, I was very kind to everybody. Yes. Circling back to elves, I like elves. They're very elegant, and it's team elves. Elves versus dwarves. What do you think? Who's better? And why?
Oh, 2D Kiri, you playful trickster. The Dark Urge can certainly lead to some wild stories. But I'm thrilled to hear you appreciate the elegance of elves. Their grace and wisdom can add such beauty to any team. It sounds like you're ready to embrace all the diverse characters in Baldur's Gate 3. Which class or role do you enjoy playing the most with your elegant elven companions?
I actually do prefer the melee characters. They just, hit them characters basically. So barbarian is really fun, fighter is fun. But maybe that's kind of a compromise, Whoopsie. Like I play the just smash characters, but probably not a dwarf.
That sounds like a smashing plan, 2D Kiri. Barbarians and fighters bring such excitement to the battlefield with their powerful hits and sturdy presence.
Exactly.
I think that's a splendid compromise. Whoopsie, you get to enjoy the thrill of melee combat while still embracing the elegance of the game's world.
Oh, well, 2D Kiri human, whatever. But can I play like a dwarven pool builder, like rooftop pool builder?
I mean, you can play a dwarf, and while you have, I want to say, endless possibilities of what you can do, it is still a fantasy setting. It is still an RPG. You cannot build pools because pools just don't really exist in that sense.
But can I smash opponents?
Yes, you can. Anybody.
So it's a cozy game. Well, smashing opponents is very cozy.
It is cozy for you. We established that. Yes, it is a cozy game.
Great. So I will install it and maybe download it from the international interwebs.
Yes, you do that. And then tell me how many hours you spend in character creation.
Yes, I will.
But before you do that, I actually brought you a garden gnome, which is kind of a dwarf. I just realized that's not really a dwarf, is it? It looks like a dwarf.
Is it one of the ultra annoying creatures that dress up like dwarves and ruining the gardens?
No, this is just a statue. So it's not moving. You just put it in your garden or maybe next to your pool. Then it just sits there watching over it.
Okay, this is really nice, to the Curie human. I will put it somewhere near the pool as a warning sign, that everybody is aware while swimming if a living version of these creatures will come along.
Oh, I see, yeah. Perfect.
Imposters, we call them. Daisy, Whoopsie wants to know, is there any game out there where you can settle the things between dwarves and elves once and for all?
Yes. What is the problem?
There are quite a few games where you can dive into the epic clashes and alliances between dwarves and elves. One that comes to mind is the Total War Warhammer series. In this game, you can lead armies of dwarves or elves, engage in grand battles, and shape the fate of these ancient rivals. You can decide whether to forge alliances or settle things with mighty battles once and for all. Does that sound like a grand adventure to you and Whoopsie?
Of course, thank you for reminding me. Total War Warhammer 3 is the one that I played quite a bit actually. And yeah, you can play dwarves, you can play elves, you can have them fight each other, have trade agreements, whatever really. Also lots of options. And that's an amazing game. I love it.
Oh, that sounds absolutely marvelous, 2D Curie. Total War Warhammer 3 truly is a treasure trove of strategic fun and epic battles.
Yeah.
The ability to shape the destiny of dwarves and elves, whether through conflict or cooperation, adds such depth to the experience. I'm so glad you love it. What has been your most memorable moment in the game so far?
Actually, I've been playing together with a streamer friend, Bloody Drongo, and he played a game with me called Law or Lie, because the Warhammer universe is just massive, and there are so many funny bits in it where you hear that and you think, no, that can't be true. That is just absolutely ridiculous. And so he would come up with the strangest things about the universe, but also tell me real things, and then I had to decide, is that law or is that a lie? Technically, that does not have anything to do with the game, but that is the memory that I've got. Like, that's the best memory because that was so fun.
That sounds like such a delightful and clever game. With all the quirky and outrageous bits of the Warhammer universe, must have been a hilarious and challenging experience.
It was.
It sounds like you and Bloody Drongo had a blast. Do you have a favorite law or lie that really stood out or made you laugh the most?
Oh gosh, my memory's so bad. I don't know who that was, but there's a race and they reproduce with spores, I think. Like mushroom spores thingies. I don't know. But I think we should leave Whoopsie now to play Baldur's Gate 3 and create a dwarf, and I'll come back some other time and then we talk about different games. Oh we got Warhammer knowledge. I need it. Tell me.
That does sound like the orcs in the Warhammer universe with their spore reproduction.
Could be.
Quite a peculiar and fascinating detail. I'm sure Whoopsie will have a grand time in Baldur's Gate 3, crafting a mighty dwarf character.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear all about your next gaming adventures when you return. Until then, happy gaming, 2D Curie.
Happy gaming.
Yeah, to the Curie human, Daisy, I really don't have time for this anymore because I have started this Baldur's game already, and Baldur's Gate 3, I think, yes. And I think I will need like maybe the first 15 hours for the beard. So I really have to start this thing now.
Just for the beard. Yes, of course. You do that. Have fun. And I already have an idea for next time where we can talk about. But you go ahead. I'll come back in like 2 months.
Yes. Bye.
Bye. Well, let's go back. Whoopsie is now very busy. Totally fine. It's an amazing game. I think he's going to be a bit disappointed because you can't really spend that much time on the beard. He's going to find out though. Whoopsie mentioned imposter. So what comes to mind when we hear imposter? Among Us. We could talk about that next time. Until then, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.